I'm Stephanie Hoff for the Midwest Farm Report, here with Blair Richardson. He's the president and CEO of Potatoes USA. They're the group in charge of growing demand for homegrown potatoes, both here domestically and overseas. Blair says the demand story for potato and potato products has been excellent. He says there are potential headwinds if tariffs put a higher price tag on some of the frozen foods we enjoy, such as French fries. But first, I have him remind us where the U.S. stands as both a producer and consumer of potatoes.
Well, so we're still in the top 5 or 6, depending on each year and what production is in different regions of the world, crop conditions, weather, and all that fun stuff. So we're a major player in terms of production and trade.
Who are our largest trading partners?
Mexico, Canada, Japan, those are our 3 biggest markets for potatoes. Canada is also our largest importer that we bring potatoes into the United States from, followed by the European Union.
Okay, so Mexico and Canada, we've been hearing those countries a lot lately in the news, especially when it comes to tariff policy, potential trade wars in the near future. Again, this is all speculation, this is all potential, nothing's quite set in stone. Blair, maybe you can explain to us what it means for an American consumer when there's a tariff on other countries.
A tariff on potatoes or frozen fries, for example. We import a lot of our frozen potato products from Canada and Europe. If there's a 25% tariff on that, prices will go up by 25 or 30% to cover the cost of those tariffs. Okay. Most likely. I mean, that's hard to project, but that is usually basic common sense.
Well, if we think here in Wisconsin, McCain Foods is one of the largest frozen potato processors, and they're based out of Canada.
That's correct. So, of course, they wouldn't have to pay those tariffs on the potatoes they're processing here in the United States. It'd only be the ones they bring in from Canada.
On the flip side, if other countries were to put in retaliatory tariffs, what does that mean for potato producers here in the U.S.?
Well, that's when it gets even more complicated because we're putting tariffs on products that are coming from these countries into the United States, and they're reversing those tariffs on us. And so that then requires a realignment of where products are being shipped to, where they're coming from. The balanced result of that, I don't know where it's going to be. It's going to be disruptive. From
your standpoint, as you are marketing potatoes, looking for new market opportunities across the globe, how does a potential trade war, impact your job?
Well, it makes everything uncertain. It forces us to realign where we're investing funds on behalf of the industry, what we're doing. It doesn't mean we can't do the job. It's just now we have to look at different opportunities in a different way.
Trade war talk aside, what are some growing markets, some shrinking markets? Where are we seeing potato needs moving?
Well, in totality, the demand for potatoes continues to go up about 1% to 4% every year. So that's a good thing for our industry as a whole. It allows more opportunities for growers to grow and process and ship potatoes. On a regional or country-by-country basis, things are changing because of the different geopolitics that we're experiencing around the world right now. Some of the markets that we have traditionally considered very strong markets for U.S. potatoes are adjusting, largely because there's a lot of investment in frozen processing capacity in other countries like India and China, which China's been a big market for us historically, and now we sell very few frozen potato products in China. We still sell some, but not near what we used to, and that's because they're growing them there now and producing them there now.
Who is the U.S.'s greatest competitor on the global market?
Still Europe, the northern European countries. That's our biggest competitor, followed by China now. And Turkey, India, they're all coming into the game as well. Certainly in certain markets, they're very big competitors.
And then where are the regions where we're all trying to get into right now? Where do we see the largest market opportunity?
Personally, I think one of the biggest opportunities is right here in the United States. We have become a net importer of potatoes over the past couple of years as demand has outpaced the production of potato products here in the United States. Europeans have looked at investing in new projects here to meet that demand. U.S. and Canadian processors are also hoping to meet that demand. So demand's going up. Consumers love potatoes, and that's a good place to be. It's just realigning now.
Greater demand is great because we want our producers to have a market. But when the demand is so great that we don't have potatoes, are you ever trying to grow potato production in the U.S.? Is that also on the agenda?
That isn't actually one of the mandates from Congress for us, our organization. We are focused on demand. We really try to build the opportunity for the potato growers to fill that demand, or the importers. Both pay the assessments that our organization runs on.
Is it a good thing if the U.S. is a market for other countries? Does it give us an edge or any kind of playing power if people want to sell to us?
Well, I think that's more of a political question than I usually get involved in. But I mean, just by the thought process, I think that anytime someone wants to sell you something, you're in a position of power.
I'll give you a question you can't answer. Tell us why potato demand is growing. Why do we love potatoes so much?
Well, you can do almost anything with a potato, and regardless of the cuisine, there are opportunities for potatoes to be on the menu, and it's just people love potatoes, and they're highly nutritious. They have a lot of good nutrient content in the potatoes. The protein content is one of the best, highest quality plant proteins you can find, on par with whey and egg protein. That's a growing concern in younger generations, is where they're getting their protein from and how much. So all of these things are really beneficial to the industry.
Blair Richardson, along with us, President and CEO of Potatoes USA. He says you might think you know how to prepare potatoes as a meal or side dish, but new recipes might surprise you. You can visit eatwisconsinpotatoes.com to refresh your potato cookbook. For the Midwest Farm Report, I'm Stephanie Hoff.